and and let's see, where is it saving the file to? Okay, let's make a directory backslash it. It's asking me to save to a folder that it knows I would already have. Okay, and it's running.
Oh, you're running it?
Yep, you want to see?
Yeah.
Oh, put it over here, and share that screen. Okay, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is running. You see the little red box right up there? It's still going. And I'm going to open up the C drive. And let's see what it does. It obviously is going to take a little time because it's got to look and examine each running thing that's all the programs that are running. So as soon as it's done, let's see, what is the name of the file that is going to output? Running processes.csv. Okay. Let's just wait a few seconds and see how it does. All right. So with that, any disturbing questions? Anything that's bugging you out? Anything you want to bring up?
I can't paste in my remote desktop for some reason.
Are you sharing the clipboard?
Thought it was.
Yeah, you usually check off all the boxes, right?
Yeah.
One of them's the clipboard.
Thought I did.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work. I don't know why. I come
Micro.
across that too sometimes. Because when I was doing that server migration over at that company where I was moving the servers from one ESXi box to another,
Mm-hmm.
I actually had to log into my email on the server and copy and paste through sending an email back and forth.
Wow.
You want to talk about annoying?
Yeah.
That was the very definition of annoying. Okay. And I'm going to try this version here because it gave me a different version of this. Right? So I'm going to stop this because it's taking too long. And I'm going to run this one. And let's see what that does. And that is running processes detailed. And
Wait a minute.
okay.
There you go.
It's got I told it was taking forever to run.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is it gave me a shorter version. And let's see if I could copy
There it goes.
and paste. Okay. Let's see. And that happened in 2 seconds, right? And running processes CSV. Let's open up an
I already think I
Excel.
already got it. I think I already got it.
And do data from text CSV, import data. Look at all the files that I forgot to close. And so it's gonna go to my C drive, central temp, running processes, and load. Close this and do this and do this. Okay, so this is telling me every single thing that's open on my machine and where it lives. Right now, if you saw, let's say, msedge.exe, here's another thing, another one that you're going to see a lot. What if you saw one of those instances running somewhere else, right? Or there's our friend SVC host, right? This one it couldn't get. This one it couldn't get. So a couple of them it couldn't get, right? But look how many times it's running SVC host. Now it's saying that it couldn't get that, right? So that was process ID 1456, but you see that that's a parent process ID. So that's coming from parent process ID 1456, and these are two separate IDs. So you could start zeroing in on these process IDs that don't show where it's living, right? Now, I don't think I've got anything on my machine that shouldn't be there, but you get the idea, right?
Sure.
Right. And it's a pretty nice little script that basically says, like, and it even gives you an output of like what is actually running. Like, so see the different SVC host EXEs, right? They're run with arguments, right, to run different things, right? So you see, these are what it took from the system saying, well, this is the command line that it ran when it ran. So that's pretty cool. Let me give you the shorter version of this because that might be all you ever need to do this. And there you go, it's in the chat. Pretty cool, right?
That is cool.
Right. And there might be software out there that can do this stuff, right? But my point is, you don't need to buy software to do stuff like this. You can just ask the AI to make a quick script to show you this.
Right.
Now, the one line on the other ones on the other script that was making it take so long to run was the get file hash process. If you look at that closely, you'll see it was looking to get the file hash from each one of the running processes. Now, hashing hundreds of executables can take a while, especially if some of the binaries are very large, okay, or on slow storage or being scanned simultaneously by antivirus. You know what I mean? So you never know, what your antivirus is doing in the background either, right? So that's probably why it was taking so long. But it would be interesting to let that first. Here's the second one, the second script it gave me, and the chat said for incident responses for a possibly um, compromised machine, you would want to run this one. okay, which is the output is running processes dash detailed CSV. So this script is giving you as much details as possible, including the SHA-256 hash for each of the executables, which is going to take a lot longer to run. But something to put in your toolbox, kids. Okay, and you literally saw how long it took me to come up with this from using the AI, right?
Seconds.
Right now, it's running the process name, the process ID number, the executable path, the command line, which is important about like what it's actually running with the switches and everything, the user account, and the parent ID of what spawned it, right? Because a lot of things get spawned. You ask the computer, when a service starts. Now let's go back to the services console really quick, and I'll open up mine, right? So and I'll bring it over here. Okay. So let's take any running process. I'm going to take the compatibility access manager, right? You go to here to dependencies. Now, this stuff is showing you, this page is showing you what's got to be running for this particular service to run. So the compatibility access management service can't run unless core messaging is running, remote procedure call, and state repository. Those things have to be running. Okay. Now, in a lot of cases, the service that you are looking at may have may be the service that another service depends on, and that would be showed in the bottom box. So you got it both ways. You got it like this service depends on these things in the upper box, and in the bottom box it would say these other services depend on this service. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think, guys? Rest of the rest of the room. You're with me, Tom? Yeah, I definitely hear you, bro. Uh, just want to make sure everybody's, if you have any questions or anything like that, please just jump in and say, hey, I got a question. Um, so with that said, let's take a look at. I'm going to stop sharing. Let's go back to Scott's system and let's take a look at how where we left off with Active Directory. Okay.
I was just putting stuff together for the class so far.
Okay. No, good.
Yeah,
Good
just a
looking
couple of
out.
things.
Good looking out.
Okay, so
There was actually some some like really cool stuff we just blasted through.
yeah, that was. Okay, this is what I got when I ran this because I ran
Yes.
this.
Now, because you opened it up with Notepad, right? Because on this system
Yeah.
you don't have Microsoft Office installed,
Well,
right?
yeah, I don't have it on here.
Okay.
So
Now, what you do is like, and Scott, if you remember, you showed me this. Um,
yeah.
when you have the CSV file, right? You open up Excel, right? And you go to the data drop down menu on the top, and then
Mhm.
you'll see on the left hand side from text or CSV, and you go and browse for that CSV file, and it takes that and imports it into Excel, and you see it in the format that you saw on my screen. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
based on the delimiters
right. You have all those commas in there, and that's each
and
comma is a
quotes.
separate column.
Right. And the quotes, which tells you what the data is.
Yep. Well, the quotes just make sure that that string isn't broken.
Mhm.
All right. So the CSV in and of itself, you don't really want to look at that in Notepad because it's a jumble, right? But when you
Mm.
get that data imported into Excel, it's formatted in a way that makes a lot more sense, and a human can make much more sense out of it. Do you have a way to you have a way to copy and paste that into your workstation so we can import it into Excel?
Let me see. I don't have Office installed on here right now. Well, not
Oh,
yet,
on
anyway.
this guy? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going too soon. I haven't gotten the mass grave yet.
Okay. All right. Yeah, yeah. I was going to say that what you call it? I see that server is still in what you call it? Evaluation mode.
Yeah. Well, I haven't done it yet because I know we're probably gonna rebuild these things a few times, so
Yeah,
it'd
yeah.
be so bad.
Okay. So
Uh,
you want
let's
to
see.
run. I see you got to run updates. So before we do anything else, that's the server, right? We want
Yeah,
to
this is server one.
you want to run updates really quick and just do a reboot and we'll pick it up. Is this in the domain yet?
No, no, it's still local.
Okay. All right. Save what you got to save. Take your time.
Uh, gonna run it. Hopefully that is updating.
Cool.
So, yeah, these are these are the VMware boxes. So there we go. Had a crazy thing happen with my Chat GPT today. I had to reinstall it.
That's why I just do it on the web.
Yeah, but I do it because then what I do is like here, when I do this, when I go here, see this? These are all the skills that I've built already. All right. All these have how to do this. Run book, everything. If you look in
Nice.
here, see and then when I'm done, I have it do, you know, give me it's not the best formatted. I try to
I mean,
format it nicely.
it's actually looks brilliant. I mean, fucking eight. Yeah, it looks like total professional stuff.
Yeah, I kind of, I try to keep it like that. Every time I do one of these, I tell it, send me out, give me a playbook. This I did a step by step today, so this was a little different. This I actually made the screenshots, and then this was the next cloud deployment I did, so that was that. But I
Cool.
try to do this because what happened was
Hmm.
when I redid everything, problem was that I uninstalled ChatGPT completely. And I was like, well, I'm going to lose all my skills in my run book. So I had already, every time I do a skill, I tell it, give me a zip file containing, I want the skill and the run book and whatever files it needs. And then I can import it back into ChatGPT and it will just put it back in.
Pretty cool stuff. I mean, real game changer of a thing. I feel like we just invented this personal computer all over again.
I can't believe that I've gained as much knowledge as I have at this application while doing it. I mean, I pick it up so easily now. It's just, yeah, this was the Weather Star repoll because I said to myself I didn't like it. So I repolled it. And that's how I got the weather thing. Oh, okay, let's see if the server's back up. Should be. Let's find out. Eh,
Is this server one or server two?
this is one.
All right. So
I made it a
we
little bit better this time.
we haven't done Active Directory installation yet, right?
I don't know. Let's see.
You don't have to go into anything. You just right there on the server manager.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do.
Go to, close the next
Yeah.
screen. Go to local server.
Yeah.
Right?
Like we
Okay.
got stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we
You're
have
in your DD.
Okay, we got an AD going. We haven't joined it to the domain yet.
It is joined.
Oh, we did? Oh, we joined it.
Yeah,
Okay, never
yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Okay. I joined as the local or as a, I'm joined
Okay.
as the administrator.
Open up a command prompt. Just as you. Yeah. Type in set. Hit enter. Right. User domain.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, I think that's right. But I'm logged in as administrator. Should I be logging in as me?
Well, let's check ADUC and see if you're created yet.
Okay.
Okay. Right click on scott.so.local and search the whole thing for Scott.
Yep.
There you are.
Hey.
You remember the password, right? Might want to reset it in case you don't remember it.
I don't think think it's that one, but hey, you know what?
Just to make sure, right?
Yeah. How'd you know?
I better to double check, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
and let's double click him to make sure he's a member of domain admins.
Yep.
And he is. Okay, cool. We did all that. Yep. All right. So here is what we're going to do, right? Let's go to server number 2. Let's leave this logged in. Okay. Okay, so let's take care of some housekeeping before we do anything. This is the basic stuff that you're just hit cancel on that.
Yeah.
We don't have a corporate upstream to report to. Okay, so go to local server. All right, so some stuff that has to be done before we do anything. First of all, you can go to the Windows updates and let that run in the background, let it update. Groovy. Minimize. Okay. First things first. This thing needs to be in Eastern time zone. Eastern time, US and Canada, right there. Okay. And okay. Okay. Now see how it didn't change on the screen? Okay. Right next to the flag, to the left of the flags, the yin yang symbol. Right? Hit that. It'll refresh. And look, it's Eastern time, US and Canada. How groovy. Okay. Another thing that we do on most of our servers, just for ease of use for an admin, is go to IE into Enhanced Security Configuration. Turn it off for admins, leave it on for regular users. Okay. This way we don't get nagged if we need to open up a web page. Okay. Next thing is we have remote desktop enabled. That's already been done, right? We want to go into that and go to add users, select users. Okay, add Scott. Check names. Guess now why didn't that resolve?
It's interesting. I don't know the one.
Because we're not a member of the domain yet.
That's right. Yeah, it's not
Right?
joined yet.
I tricked you. All right, so
Right.
just cancel out of that. Oh, and one more thing before you cancel, where it says allow connections only from computers using secured what you call secure network. Uncheck that.
Why do
In
you
your
do that?
in your own private network, you don't want to do that because that forces remote desktop to want to authenticate using SSL certificates. Okay, So when you have that checked, you're going to find it a little bit more difficult to log in without a third party saying it's okay. Okay, so apply and okay. Okay, so here's another way to join the workstation, to join the server into Active Directory. First of all, before we do that, see where it says Ethernet and it's got the IP address? Click that. Double click the adapter. Open up TCP IPv4. Okay, make sure your first DNS server is your first Active Directory server. Okay. Now, the reason for that is, for obvious reasons, 8.8.8.8 doesn't know about our internal domain. And when you're using the router to be your first DNS server, anything that router would ask doesn't know anything about your Active Directory environment, right? So you actually don't need the quad 8s either. You could just turn around and say nothing in alternate DNS server. You could change that after it's joined. So technically it would have internet access even if the servers went down. But it's, for our purposes, it's not needed. Okay. Now let's go to the command prompt and test. Don't need to elevate it. Ping scotso.local.
Get that.
Right? And it'll find it, right? Okay. So now what I'd like you to do is go to the run box from the window key. Okay, and now what I want you to type in there is sysdm.cpl. Okay, hit OK. And that brings up that same screen, right? That's how to get to it from the command prompt or the run box. Okay, so you're going to change it. And I don't know, I guess you're going to keep the server name the same.
Yeah, I think we should.
All right. Then you're going to, the domain scotso.local. And let's join it. When you hit OK, let's join it. When it asks for credentials, log in as Scott.
Oh, wait a minute. That's so...
Okay, minimize the command prompt.
What?
You
Hold,
forgot
please.
your password.
That can't be.
Was your username Scott or S Arena?
No, it was Scott.
Okay.
Almost surely. My apologies, John. Okay. All right. We're having a problem here. Let's look at that. I know.
Rush 2112.
Ha ha. If you only knew.
Double click and go to account.
Uh,
Look,
Whoa. Got
Scott Dash
admin.
admin feeling all important about himself.
Yeah, somebody's gotta.
Well, there you go.
I love it. Okay, so let's try it again.
Now I think we're going to get it. Cygnus X 12112.
What? I don't understand that. What does that mean?
Did you copy this server?
No, I built it from this. I built it from the ground. Oh,
You
I
copied the
might have.
server. Yeah, you did. Look what it says. The SID is exactly the same.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, simple enough. Let's do some Proxmox work. You want to shut this server down and let's destroy it? And we'll destroy it in Proxmox and we'll make a new one. You got your Windows server uh, ISO
ISO
loaded
and
up, I
then
would imagine, right?
yeah. Sorry,
So
guys.
so it's not a good demonstration for Proxmox now.
Okay, so we're gonna kill that.
Right, go to your Proxmox machine.
I think
You
it
could have
is.
left you could have left that shortcut on the desktop because you're going to make it the same IP address, right?
Yeah,
Right. So
I can always get it out of the trash.
right. So you what is it? The 101,
Yeah.
right? Delete it.
Okay, so let's just make sure.
I think you go to the top thing that says PVE
Where is that?
on the left side.
Sure it's that? I don't know.
Go to PVE, right, and then go to VMs in the middle.
I'm sorry. I'm not.
Yeah, this is
Cool.
the thing. That's why I said it'd be a good idea to play with Proxmox, right? Because we we all have to learn where stuff is in Proxmox.
Okay. So PVE. Right? Oh my God, it's embarrassing. Um, Okay, so PVE is a server. Oh, more. There you go. Remove. And we run. Okay. Purge from job configurations.
Yeah, everything.
I
Okay, and now
uh,
make a new VM.
no, that's all. Okay, no HA.
No, we don't need to do high availability.
Uh, I'm sorry. Am I going too fast? Because if I
No,
am, I'm sorry.
is anybody wants you to slow down?
Please.
You're not you're not running a race. Don't worry if you don't have to you don't have to go like at a million miles an hour,
Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, so none of this. I didn't use any of
right?
this.
Right.
Like I said,
And
next.
you go to
What?
system, right? Um, right.
Graphic
So
card
there's a
default.
controller, right? That all looks right. You're going to use BIOS or UEFI. I think on Server 2025 you need to use UEFI, right?
I think so, yeah.
Or did you use BIOS? I mean, on the last one, you tell
I
me.
think I think I used UEFI. I don't think I used like default C BIOS because I didn't know what any of that was. I should have looked it up, but I went UEFI. So
That's just basically the built-in BIOS. That's all.
um, um, uh, you want an agent for that?
Um, I'm not sure what that even means.
I can't remember if I did that or not. Um,
If it's what you call it, if it's checked, I would leave it checked, right?
it
So
wasn't. It wasn't initially.
okay, so turn it off.
Cats. I didn't do it, but let's see. Okay, TPM storage. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're gonna set our disk size here.
What size do you want it? Because I made them 30. I
Okay,
mean,
make it 40 for the heck of it. We could always expand it. We have room?
it's 500 gigs on here.
Okay.
CPU is one socket.
Go 2 and 2.
Really?
Okay, 2 and 4. No? 2 and 2 is fine.
Okay. Well, this machine's got a lot, so. Okay, next. Now I got
Memory?
32 gigs. Yeah, let's go next. Now I
Okay,
did that.
that's fine.
Okay. We'll say next. Network, default. Yeah. VLAN. No. Next. Mm, That's it.
Okay. And finito. Okay. Launch that puppy.
It's going. Started
Okay, connect into the
to the
what is it?
console. It's running.
Okay,
It's a
console's
console.
in the middle. Right there. Press any key.
There's the any key. I guess the hard disk.
You want to do from the ISO, right?
Yeah. So I
DVD
guess
DVD ROM.
go do
Any key? There you go. Loading files. Good, man. I love how the Proxmox logo gets in front of the Windows logo.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do it in traditional Chinese and really be challenged.
I was gonna. But
Okay.
standard evaluate.
Desktop experience.
I did that by accident at work one day, and I was like, "What the hell the win?" Dave's like, "Did you want desktop experience?" I was like, "Yeah." Oops. Okay, 40 gig.
That's it. Sees the disk,
Hit it
40 gig, and we're off to the races. Go.
and go.
Yeah, this shouldn't take long.
Oh, not on this. This machine is pretty beast.
So again, with Proxmox, this is something that we as all of us need to get more familiar with because this is going to be the new VMware. So right, I was going to install this, Tommy. I was going to install this over at EOC, but I
Right.
decided to go with ESXi just because I was so much more familiar with it, and I was like, yeah, I had like everybody hovering over me. This has to go perfect. We have to. This has to be like, nothing can possibly go wrong. So I didn't want to
Really?
take. Yeah, I didn't want to. I didn't want to chance it. We've got to become more familiar with it.
Did they have a scare? Is that why you had to? Is that the one place that got hacked?
No, this is the one where their file server, the main file server, at
Hmm.
their main location, one beast of a box,
Hmm.
was serving about 15 shared folders and about 8 shared printers, and it was also an active AD domain controller,
Ooh.
and it shit the bed on us. So what I did is I had an old server sitting in the office, and I installed Windows Server 2025, and I brought the server to their location to basically sit on the side, and I was going to to take over, let it be the domain controller to tell the old file server that, hey, you're not a domain controller anymore. And I was going to just basically launch another server in the Proxmox box. But when we started copying the data, it was like over a terabyte and a half of data, and it was just taking a god awful too long of a time to go.
Would you robocopy it?
Well,
Or are
yeah,
you doing? Oh,
no, it
okay.
was doing a robocopy, and so what I decided was I hobbled the file server back to life, like to just be a server in the domain. Internally, it still thinks it's a domain controller, but it's not doing anything on the domain. That part of it's broken, but it's still the
Mhm.
file server. And so what I had is I had the 2025 server was too new of a server to be a domain controller in that environment because the function level of the domain was uh, 2012 R2.
So
So I had to blow away the server that I had built specifically for rescuing them, and I had to go back and do a 2019 server.
mm,
So within Proxmox, I had that server running, and then we had ordered a brand new server for them. Remember, I showed you that server. You thought it should cost like $40,000, but
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
it had spinning disks,
Half the price.
it was literally like a one third of the price actually. Um,
Oh, really?
and so we got that up and running, and so now I've got a new 2019 server running in ESXi. I've got their new file server running in ESXi, and I even took a bare metal machine that's standing next to it called this IVR server, which is just basically a 2012 R2 machine running a little program called Tracker. It was written by some guy in a basement.
Hmm.
And don't forget this password, bro.
I
Um,
know it.
so I took it off. I I took the backup I had on the data, and I did a restore, and it gave me the C drive's HD file, the M what is it, the VXDA VHDX file.
Hmm.
So for the two hard drives, both were a half a terabyte, and I just lifted them from the data to the domain controller. I added a 1.2 terabyte D drive on it, so I had a place to drop those files into. And then from there, I dropped that into ESX and basically took that bare metal server and stood it up as a virtual inside of the ESX box, which I brought to life yesterday.
Oh, good for you. Yeah.
Don't send diagnostic data. Fine, except
How do I not do that?
who cares? Just remember, Microsoft's mission statement is their address. One Microsoft way. You do it our way.
You do it no way. Okay.
Okay. So now let's do our little bit of housekeeping. You want to run through that again?
Oh,
Ta-da, 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 ta-da. Let's do the remote desktop thingy. Hit OK. Uncheck the other box. Hit OK. Hit OK. Okay. Make the DNS server the other server's IP address. Oh, and static this back to the original address that you had.
yeah, you gotta remember what it was. I don't think what was that?
Restore it from the no, restore it
21.
from restore it from the recycle bin. Okay. And then right click and edit with Notepad.
Oh, edit with notepad. That's right.
Right. Get rid of the
Um,
22, right?
right.
And
What
there's
is
your
that?
IP address.
Yeah, but there's no 222 there. That was in the first one.
That's kind of an anomaly.
Yeah, 'cause if you look in the first one, no
Oh,
bad.
right. That was the other server, right? That was
Yeah.
the A server. We're talking about the B server. Okay,
All
yeah. So
right.
just use that IP address.
Yeah, so this is 120. Oh my God. 122. Okay, good. So
A lot of twos flying around.
I know, right? 22, okay, so these.
Those dot one was your gateway.
And then it's gonna be
Now the other server, right? And
awesome.
we're good.
Right. Yeah, we're good. So we're gonna hit that. Hit that.
It groovy. It excellent. Okay, and let's go hit click work group.
Just want to
Let's
make
join.
sure that the
Let's join it first. Change the computer name
oh yes, it's gonna be
and your domain name
excuse me.
and Scott admin and your super duper
Secret password.
da da da. Okay, and reboot that puppy.
Did not take as long as we thought.
No, I did. Knew it was going to take that long, but yeah, there you go. Okay. So again, remember, Active Directory works on DNS. That's why changing the DNS server so that you're only talking to the other domain controller is how this worked. Okay, you could log in as you, right? There you go. A man.
I learned very well.
Okay. And
Oh,
it's not ready yet.
oh okay.
It's not soup yet.
Well, it is now.
Okay, so it's ready. We know it can talk to the other server. Just verify the IP address and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 122.
What you were expecting, right?
Correct. All right, so just could do that. Admin, right? What the? What the- I know. That's very bizarre.
What about trying the admin?
Maybe I got to put the domain. That would be it. Maybe it's this.
You do Scotso backslash
I think it's Scott.local.
Scotso backslash. Not
Oh,
Scott.
Scott's in this one.
Scotso's the name of the domain.
There you go.
Ta-da.
All right. We're good.
Wakey wakey, eggs and bakey. Okay, go to local
Okay.
server. Okay. All right. So now we got two servers talking with each other. Let's verify good communications with the server. Okay. Open up an elevated command prompt, not a terminal. There you go. Okay. So remember how to verify communications with AD, right?
You're gonna ping the other server, right?
Oh, that's not AD communications. That's TCP communications.
Uh,
Actually, TCP IP, but
yeah. All right. This was what again?
open full
Mm,
screen
Yeah.
and go click on the little black box in the top left. Right click on that.
Yeah.
Nope, right there. Go to properties. Let's change. Go to font. Change your font size. Make it a little bit bigger so we can see stuff. I hit OK. Outstanding. Okay, first command is going to be repadmin for space forward slash show REPL. One word, show REPL. Hit enter.
Did they
Did you
get that?
spell that right?
Oh, I did. Rep.
Okay. The reason why is because we haven't promoted it to a domain controller. Um, let's uh, uh, let's add AD services. I guess the best way to show that you're connected to the domain is to run a GP update, right? So verify that group policy is making it to it. Right? So that pretty much says it's talking, right? Okay, so let's go add DNS server and AD services. Active Directory domain services, add features, DNS server, add features. Next, 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 next. Install. Okay.
Okay. While that's going, you can speak. I'm going to use the facilities. Excuse me. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So, any questions from Tom or Christian?
Nope. I think I'm good.
All right. You understand how this stuff works?
Yeah, just absorbing everything.
So, it was a something that I just wanted to show you guys really quick, if I could. Hold on one second. I'm going to put this in the chat, right? If you want to activate a Windows server or workstation, use that entire string in a PowerShell elevated prompt. Okay, and
Oh, is this?
that's the what you call uses a website called Massgrave.
Oh, yeah, mask. Yeah, I was just about to ask.
Yep, and it will activate your. It'll change what. First of all, with this, because this is running the evaluation version, you've got to change it to the standard version, right? So you change versions, and then you activate it, and it works out, and it works every time.
Hmm.
Sorry, guys. Okay.
No problemo, sir.
Mass
I was
grave,
just
eh?
I was just showing them the mass grave link to
Oh yeah.
with this. You see, we've got the if you go down and you look at the minimize the server manager window, right? Look in the bottom right hand corner. You see it says that it's the standard. A standard evaluation edition, right? So what you have to do first with the mass grave link is you change the version to standard edition. That's a DISM command you can do by yourself. You don't need their shortcuts for it. Very, very simple. Show versions, change version. And then it'll do the activation for you using some very old technology that it uses to fool Windows to thinking that it's actually activated. All right.
Coming right along, but I see a flag.
Yeah, it's going to say,
Okay.
it's doing the things,
Oh,
and you see it now. It's going to say promote this to a domain controller. So you close the window on the left, because it finished. Okay. Now let's promote it to a domain controller. And now this is when the two servers are going to talk to each other as equals. We're going to add a domain controller to an existing domain. We're going to use the credentials that we're already logged into. And of course, it picked up on the domain, right? So you hit next. And just to go through this one more time, it's going to make sure that it's a domain name system, right? A DNS server. It's a global catalog, which basically means it's going to carry all of the partitions, all of the Active Directory information. You could tell servers in your AD environment to only be only carry certain parts of the Active Directory tree. When you have a big corporation and you have a very big tree, you sometimes don't want all the servers to carry all the information of the entire domain. So only a global catalog server would be the global catalog. And then lastly, read-only domain controller is just what it says. It's a domain controller, but when you do an RODC, it cannot be updated. So you can't add a user to that on that domain controller. You can't add a group. You can't even make a person a member of a group, okay? Because that is read-only domain controller is exactly what it says. It is a domain controller that is meant to serve Active Directory information, services on the network, but it is not writable. So remember what Active Directory is at its core. It is a distributed database. It is a database that lives over multiple domain controllers. And typically what you want is you want those domain controllers to update each other. Okay. So when a change is made on one of the domain controllers, it is synchronized to the other domain controllers. Now, a read-only domain controller, if you, let's say, opened up Active Directory users and computers and added a user, it would very sternly tell you that is not allowed on an RODC. Now, where you might need an RODC is, let's say had a company with a bunch of branch offices, and your branch office in Chicago's got a pretty good kid, doing the network stuff over there, but you don't want him making any changes to your Active Directory environment, right? You install an RODC on his site, okay? We'll get into sites and things like that. You see the site name is default first site name. That is the default first site name. It is exactly what it is. If we had more sites, and we will, okay, you would, on that drop-down menu, you would see more sites. Like Tom, Christian, our company EOC and EMC and Patchog, right? They've got two sites. They've got Patchog and Islip, right? So when we install a domain controller in that environment, it has to be in either one of those, not the default first site name. Okay. The password. This is the DSRM restore mode password. This is the password you would have to put if you had to go into directory services restore mode, in case the database broke in some way. And that would be the password that you would need to fix it. Okay, hit next.
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm gonna record it. I mean, it's the same one, but now if you turn on a read-only domain controller, can you ever make it not be read-only?
No, it's a one-way street. You make it a read-only domain controller. The only
It
way to do it
stays,
is the only way to undo that is to remove directory services and reinstall directory services.
which would be up here.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Now, this error is like I've said before, this is a chicken and the egg thing. It says a DNS server cannot be a delegation for this DNS server cannot be created because an authoritative parent cannot be found because it doesn't have a DNS service running on it yet. You can only do that afterwards, right? So you could check update DNS delegation, but you don't have to. You could if you want. It will do it anyway. Okay, so you hit next. Okay, and you're going to either install from media or you're going to replicate from any domain controller. Now you could specify which domain controller you want to replicate from, and that'll be locked in for the life of the server. Okay. In a very large organization, you might want to build a replication topology that way, where as you install new servers, you're going to say, okay, only this all of the satellite servers are going to replicate only with servers in, let's say, our data center in New York City, right? So when you're building a server in the UK, you want it only to replicate from that server, server that you designate in New York. You could do things like that. It is probably better to let that happen organically and just say replicate from any domain controller, which is what we're going to keep, and hit next. Okay, the location of the database files. That does not need to be changed. You could change them if, let's say, your corporate overlords wanted you to not put the directory in the default location where it could easily be found by a hacker. The reasons for changing these directories would be obvious, but we're not going to, so we're going to just hit next. Okay, and now it's going to do, you could view the script and save it to the desktop. This is the way you would do it on a server without a graphical user interface. Okay, you could just hit File, Save As, and just save that to the desktop. Okay, right. And hit Next. And now it's going to do a pre-flight check, as I call it. Then it's going to say about anything that it doesn't find copacetic. And it says all checks passed successfully. Click Install to begin the installation and proceed. Now, watch at the top as of this window right here, as objects get copied from AD, from the existing AD. There's already lots of objects in the schema, right? And of course, this doesn't take long to happen because we haven't really built anything into it yet. But still, in a very large environment, this could take a little while. All the users, all the groups, all the computers, every single object's got to come over. Okay, and we're doing a restart. Ta-da! Now, when that server comes back up, let's watch it come back up on Proxmox. It's doing this little circle dance.
Hey, you see this here, this weather star? That's an LXC container.
What is an LXC container?
Linux containers, or sort of like a Docker thing, but it's in a Proxmox. That's where I had the WeatherStar originally. Remember, I told you some of those services I want to run infinitely as with as little power as possible.
Uh-huh.
That's what I moved that over to the Zima board. So it's all that stuff that you saw, the unified controller, all that stuff's going to be running on there.
And that thing actually gives you the correct weather and everything?
Yeah, yeah,
It
it's actually
connects into
legit.
the weather service?
Yeah, it's through NOAA.
Nice. Do me a favor. Make one for marine stuff outside of Mauritius Bay.
I have to see if there is one. That's a Docker container that's being hosted by somebody who actually painstakingly works with it. It's
Well,
like
there
their pet
is,
project.
if you do a search for marine weather, there's a NOAA
Hmm.
site that actually has that information. I check it before we go shark fishing and stuff. Whenever we go offshore, tuna fishing, shark fishing. Okay, so let's open up that elevated command prompt and do that rep admin command again.
Right.
Yep. Forward
And
slash
then
show REPL. Yep. Okay. And you see everything was successful.
like
Okay.
that.
Right. Now hit the up arrow and get rid of show REPL and do REPL summary. Any errors would show up here. Okay. Now, here's how to force replication. Do the rep admin space forward slash sync all, one word, SYNCALL, space forward slash capital A, lowercase ed, uppercase P.
What's the difference in the case sensitive?
You could look it up. You do rep admin forward slash question mark. It'll show you what all that shit means. Okay, and that will force any changes to the database that living on this server to the other server. So here's what I mean. Go into ADUC really quick, and where we had the Scotso Corporation, you do that from what you call it. You do it from the start menu or from the drop down menu. You can do it either way. Right? So if you go into the tree, open up Scotso, right? Go to Scotso Corp users. Right? You got Scott. Right click on Scott, choose copy, and make Rick. Okay. Hey, that's cool. You could just make it Rick. You don't have to get crazy. Okay, and next. Well, bubblegum 123. Okay, next and finish. Hey,
Oh,
you can't do user can't change password. You gotta hit back. Hit OK and then
really?
back. Right? Because I'll tell you why in a second. Hit next and finish. Right?
Password policy. Ooh, I know what to do here.
Did you do capital B, capital G?
No, I didn't.
You have to because that'll pass the policy. Capital B, capital G. Always capital B, capital G. 1, 2, 3.
Let's see if it worked.
X, then finish. Okay.
Uh,
Now I want you to see something. Okay. Double click on me. Go to member of. See? And because it copied Scott, I'm also a domain admin. Okay. So hit OK. Now minimize this RDP session and go to the other server and take a look in ADUC. Okay. And open up ADUC in there. Okay.
ADUC, it's not coming up.
It's up. It's up. It's down at the bottom.
Oh,
Down to,
yeah.
okay. Open up Scotso. Go to Corp. Okay. Go to Users. Okay. See, it's replicated.
And when it replicates, what does it use? Is it like a DFS thing?
Well, yes, actually. It's actually using LDAP
Okay.
to do that. Okay. And speaking of LDAP, let's take a quick look at if you go to start menu and just type in LDP. Okay, open that. Okay. And this is the LDAP connector, right? So you can make a connection to look at your schema in this thing. Connect the server, put this, the IP address of the server in, and you can do the IP address of the other server, right? So we can talk to the 122, right? Was it 133? I don't know. I think
Oh,
122
no,
was the other server, right?
Yes. What,
And
389?
hit OK. And notice we're using 389. This is unsecure. Okay.
Hmm.
And you see it connected right in. Now, I'm not going to get into it now because it's kind of a little, how should I say, too much to get into. But there are times when you would have to go in and edit stuff in here, okay? Because there's nowhere else to edit it. I'll give you a good example. Tom, you remember when we were saving the file server over at EOC?
Yep.
Right? Now, one of the things I had to go into the LDAP editor, I had to basically tell the file server that you're not a domain controller anymore because I couldn't get through the regular menus, right? I had to go into here and actually change some of the tags directly, editing the Active Directory database directly, right? So this is, it's a useful thing. You'll find yourself using this when you're doing stuff like certificate services and things like that. But just like as a just as to show what we're doing here, the idea is that if this didn't come up, you could say that we're not talking to the server, right? That we're not making an LDAP connection. This shows you your LDAP connections. Now you want to close this and open up a new session. Just go to LDP again, right? And try to connect on 636 LTPS, okay? So do a connection, put the IP address in, right? And I want you to change it to SSL, right? You'll see that the port automatically changes 636, right? And now try to connect. It's not going to connect because there's no SSL certificate that can verify our connection. You'd have to set that up first. Okay. Just so you know, like that using LDAP is all fine and dandy. When you're, like to do, let's say, a connection from, I don't know, your VPN router, and you want to use all your Active Directory users, right? And you can say, tell your Active Directory users, okay, you got to be a member of the VPN users group, right? Or else you're not going to get access to the VPN, right? The problem with that is if you don't set up a certificate server in the domain, all of your passwords are going across the network as clear text. So if you have an intruder, he's capturing passwords.
Does the
Go.
certificate server go on both servers, or could it be on one?
You can let's say we have these two servers right now, right? You'd make one of this, you would install certificate servers and make one of them the certificate authority, the start of authority in the certificate store. Okay. Typically, how you would do that, it can't be done on a .local. Okay. If you were going to do that, right? Here's the proper way to set up AD that nobody ever fucking talks about. Okay. What you should do if you need secure internal LDAP connectivity and other connectivity, okay? If you don't want your server to every time you go to an RDP connection to say, I can't verify that this server that you're trying to connect to is the server that you think it is, right? We just click past it and say, yeah, and connect, right? If you want that to be secure, you've got to have, first of all, a domain name that is a public name. So you can go to a certificate website like anyone that sells them, like Amazon, GoDaddy, Namecheap. There's a million of them out there, okay? And you buy a local domain SSL certificate, but you can't prove that you own a domain that's internal and that's not complying with the top level names out in the world. .local is not a valid top level name. So therein lies your problem. If you were going to set your domain up, the first question you should ask everybody at the meeting is, are we going to be using certificate services? If we are, then now I need one of you guys to go to a GoDaddy or wherever you buy your domains, and you have to secure a public name for the domain. That domain's never going to be published publicly. There's going to be no website or any kind of thing going on out in the real world. But if you ever wanted to set up an external connection into the domain, it'll come in handy. And when you get your certificate, you'll be able to prove that you own that domain by putting a TXT record into your DNS, where you're presenting out to DNS, all your DNS records out there. So Namecheap or GoDaddy or whoever say, okay, you want to get a certificate? That's no problem. Take this text string and make a TXT record in your domain. We'll see it, and that'll verify that you own the domain. You dig? Does anybody have a
Yes.
question about this?
No, I don't.
Tom, Chris, anybody? I just want to make sure we're clear about what I just said.
I kind of want to go over I mean, not right now, but like how LDAP is syncing both servers so that one make a user on one server, it syncs with the other server.
That is correct. And LDAP is the communication methodology that the servers use to synchronize information with each other. But LDAP itself is not secure. It's like the difference between HTTP on port 80 and HTTPS on 443. HTTPS uses a public and private key, okay, to secure the communication. When both parties have the private key, they can communicate, right? And that key isn't a key as you think about it, putting a key into the lock. The key is the certificate. Well, it's not the certificate. It's derived from the certificate. It's the hash. It's a hash that is created from the certificate, completely random, but the certificate can be used to verify the hash. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure like everybody's like wrapping their freaking craniums around that, because in the scotso.local domain, we can't ever go to GoDaddy and say I'd like to buy a certificate. Can't do it because there is no registered scotso.local domain, because it can't be. .local is not a top level domain name. It's a made up name that we use on internal networks that makes it very easy to do this Active Directory thing. But if you want to play with the big boys and you're going to be running let's say a huge network spanning across the entire world in data centers and far-flung cities, connected with dedicated VPN trunks, okay? If you were going to be doing something like that, you probably want to get a domain name for your domain that you can verify from the outside so that you can get that certificate and you could tell your certificate authority when you install it that here's the certificate that verifies this interior domain. And it doesn't know it's interior. It thinks it's exterior. The idea being is that now you turn off port 389 on everything and you tell everybody to talk 636 LDAP-S, okay? No more HTTP on port 80, in other words. We're all talking 443 on HTTPS, okay? This works for your iTrax and iLO connectors, network cards that you have in your servers. So you're verifying that when you connect into one of your services iTrack cards and you want to, go into its RAID controller. Think about it. You got a server in Korea. How the fuck do you do any installation on a remote server? You do it through the iTrack, because the iTrack allows you to watch this thing boot like you're sitting in front of it in the server room. When it goes through its BIOS startup procedure, you're watching it on a screen that's presented to you through a web page. Pretty much how we're looking at it here. Okay, but when we reboot this, we only see it from the operating system on up. You don't see the server actually booting. The iTrack shows you the server actually booting. So like you can go into this into the RAID controller, you can go into the lifecycle controller, you can go into the BIOS. You can do all that stuff. You can even update the BIOS. You can do all kinds of stuff like that from the iTrack. Okay. Are we clear with that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because that's a, Scott, you do own your own domain, right? So if we were, let's say, to rebuild our Active Directory environment, right, and use the name of your domain that you own, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to make it public. This internal sandbox that we're creating never has to touch the internet, except like like you open up a web page and you're going out to get something, right? But you're not the domain itself is not interacting with anything out on the internet, right? We can then buy a certificate for like $40 for an internal, very simple certificate. That'd be like 128-bit encryption, like nothing heavy duty. We don't need to get like, 1024, 4092-bit encryption, like military and shit like that. All we need is something really simple to just say, yes, this is our start of authority. And we're going to use this level of encryption in our certificate store. And it's not terribly difficult. It's not terribly easy, but it's not terribly difficult. But you need that outside certificate to do it. Now, that being said, you could create the certificate authority with a self-signed certificate. If you look at the certificate services, if you go to the start button, go to certificate services, you'll see there is a certificate store on this machine, on every machine. Just go to just type in the word certificate and it'll come up. Right? Manage certificates. Good. Okay. Now this is internally on this server, certificates that it knows about. Could just go full screen on that. Okay. So if you go to trusted certificates on the left, middle, right? Open that arrow up. Next to trusted publishers, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Untrusted publishers? Forget where it is. Open that up, go to certificate trust list, not available. Third party root certificate authorities. Yeah, go into that, open that up. Okay. You're going to see some certificates in there that come from third parties that are published that come with Windows. Now, certificates are kind of like, how should I say? It's kind of like a messed up thing. You can create a certificate if you add the certificate services. You can create what's called a self-signed certificate and say everybody trusts this certificate, but there's no one upstream that verifies that, and Windows isn't going to like it. So this is we can get into the whole certificate thing like down the road if you want. It's kind of interesting. It's a lot of stuff you have to do with Java, believe it or not. Java plays a big part in certificate distribution. There's a lot of like built-in JavaScripts to do that stuff. And it's built into Windows. You have to install basic Java, go to java.com and install Java. And that's how you start off. So just to give you a little taste of this, if you open up one of those certificates, Scott, you'll see it doesn't matter which one you open up, right? You go to details. And basically you're going to see like what kind of certificate this is, what it's used for, what the public key looks like, the thumbprint, the friendly name, all that stuff. This is a very basic certificate. If you drop down the show, you can show specific things, right? So you don't have to show all in one screen, right? So you just go to like, let's say, properties, right? Right. So you do double click on the thumbprint, right? And you see that's the thumbprint of that certificate, right? So it's not most certificates are going to be 4, 5, 6 lines going across in that box. This is not a very, how should I say, high encryption key that it's using. But the basically what what you're dealing with is you're dealing with expiration dates. You buy a certificate, it's got an expiration date. At that point, you've got to buy another certificate to replace it with. Because you can't just extend it. You could conceivably make a certificate based on, you could have a certificate that lasts a year, right? And then make a sub certificate that'll last 5 years. But after a year, it won't work because the certificate it's leaning against expired. So there's a hierarchy with certificates, and I'm not going to say it's like the biggest pain in the ass, but let's just say that this is a career path you're looking at right here. When you understand certificates like this, that's a whole job just doing this. So, gentlemen, it is after 9 o'clock, and I am turning into a pumpkin. I've had a very long day.
Okay.
Tom, you know, Nick is in the hospital, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. You told me. Yep.
He's going in tomorrow morning for open heart surgery.
Oh my God.
Oh, I thought he was doing it tonight.
No, I was texting with him before while we were doing this presentation.
So they found something, huh?
Yeah, well, they 2 blockages.
There you go.
They didn't even want to do a stent. They're going to go in. They're going to start, reconstructing his heart.
He's getting a zipper, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just hope he's okay. Tell him I'm praying for him. I'm wishing him well.
They're going to crack him open like an oyster. And I said to him, well, then you and I could, we can compare scars.
There you go. There you go.
So,
like I said, wish him well for me.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yes, he is. You gentlemen have a wonderful night. Keep Nick in your prayers, okay?
I will.
Will do.
And we'll convene next week.
All right, Rick. Thank you.
And maybe we'll go into some certificate shit.
Cool. Very good. Let me know if when the video's up, and I'll start getting those.
You got it. That reminds me. Let me stop.
And the transcript.
Yep. Stop recording. Stop. Okay. And we're good.
All right.
I'll post that in the morning, Scott.
Yeah, no problem. I downloaded the other videos, so if you want to clean that up, you can do that.
I was going to ask you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I pulled those down, so
Awesome.
I got to get those. Now what I got to do is I got to get it. Now I'm trying to figure out how to make a proxy through Cloudflare to do it through Nextcloud. So that's the only reason why you couldn't get in, because I can't send you anything because I don't have an external link to give you.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I need to work on that.
Once you're able to do that, you can make one for Chris and Tom, right?
Yeah, well, I'll give you guys all the same link, and then what happens is I'll just share the folder with you.
Cool.
The folder will be shareable, but I'll need email addresses. So if you guys want to, you want to send.
You got it from the meeting.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, I could set that up.
Everybody's email addresses is right there.
All right, cool. So we could do that. Yeah, I just got to get the documentation together. I really don't know how I'm going to do that, but I will figure that out.
Okay, gentlemen. You guys all have a great night, and I will talk to you during the week.
All right. Talk to you later, Rick. Thanks.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.